Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So right now I'm gonna give an update on the M936 that I picked up a couple weeks ago. Now when I got the truck, the guy that had it before me couldn't get it running. He had picked it up off of government liquidation or some government auction and never really did anything with it. So he put it back up for sale just to get his money out of it. And he said some lady came by, but they could never get it going. I came across it, and I said I'll run down there, and if I can turn the motor, then I'd see about getting it. Well, I went down there, and it was a little hard to start, but what we had to do was we ran a fuel can. We ran this line right here that goes to the fuel filter straight into a 5-gallon can of fuel, and we got the truck started and saw that it could run. So once we did that, I told him, yeah, I'll go ahead and get the truck. And fortunately he held it for me, took it off the market, held it for me, went back down there, they got it. And you'll see the video where I loaded it and brought it up here, got it back and worked on it and put a new filter up there and primed it. But again, we can get it to run, but once it sucked all the fuel out of the filter, it would shut off again. So I replaced that line, that blue line you see there, and I replaced this filter that was in here. And this is original filter, canister type. And initially I didn't have a way to, other than to pump it, didn't have a way to prime it to blow that fuel up into the filter. So I poured fuel in there into the filter, but it still wasn't catching. And there's a couple other guys on the line there, and I'll give a shout out to them when I get back and get their YouTube channels, because I did look at those to get it running first. So I did everything everything I could think of and try to get it running. And after having no luck of getting the thing primed, I went ahead and ordered a new cap and put a new valve in there so I can pressurize the system and push the fuel up. And sure enough, now, while doing my troubleshooting, I did blow air back through that fuel line to make sure it was open, and I could hear the air blowing back into the tank. So I knew the line wasn't blocked. And then, some people were saying that this filter housing goes bad, it'll leak. There's lines up under the cab that go bad. I don't know if you can see them. I tried all that, but once I put that cap on there, pressurized the fuel, and I had fuel flowing up to here, I said, I think we're good. And once I had a steady stream coming out of there, I hooked it back up, I primed it again, and the bleed screw is on the back side. It's a 10 millimeter screw head back here. Just open that and close it. I had fuel coming out of there. Let's see if I can get you back in there, take a look at that. There it is, right there. Had fuel running out, close it back up, fire it up, and truck ran. I let it run for a good 15-20 minutes. So she runs. The name of this truck is going to be White Hawk, and I haven't tried the hydraulic system yet, but I did take it for a quick drive because I don't have the alternator on, so the fan belt's not turning. Was not turning the fan, so I don't run it too much and overheat the thing. But here's the old cartridge filter, and it was rusted It was rusted and filled with gunk, and nothing was going to flow through there. So I swapped that out, and there was some concern that the fuel on there was old, and it smells old, but it was green fuel coming out. So I wasn't too concerned about the fuel in the tank. And like I say, once we got her primed, she took off with no issues. What I'm gonna do right now, put a new alternator on there. That's not the original type. The one that comes on here is a great big old thing, probably about that much longer, that sits up there on that bracket. But them things are expensive. This, I got it for just under $400. Already comes with the manufactured bracket to replace this one. The belt seems okay. I think the tensioner may be all right, but yeah, the tensioner seems to work, so I think I'm good there. And I'll run this belt. I'll get a new one on order, just in case. I'll have it back up and just let this one run until it goes. Make sure I get it rerouted right, and then get this thing put on. First thing is move this fender out of the way. It's way harder than what it needs to be, but I'll get a technique figured out. Hopefully it'll come out without much of an issue. Let's see if we can get that. First one's good. Of course, there's always one. It's got to be a challenge. I think I'm putting it back in there right. I did hold it up and try to position it correct. So that should be it. But if not, just take it off and flip it. That one act like it might strip, but I'm gonna check those and put some anti-seize on there too. Line these holes up. Get that in there. And now, what I'm gonna have to do is find how this thing is routed. Goes across the flywheel, or goes around the flywheel. So we're back out here again. I worked till it got dark last night, taking off the, putting the alternator on. A little chilly out here, and but I ran out of daylight. But restoring a vehicle is a process. So we got the fuel thing figured out, got it running. I knew I had to put an alternator on there. Went to put the alternator on there. You know, found a new alternator, put the alternator on there, get the alternator on. And the idler pulley is locked up. So now I gotta go get the idler pulley. That's what I'm gonna do now, is pull that off. And I should be able to go to Cummins or another parts store and just get the replacement pulley. Otherwise, you know, I'll do another internet search and get one ordered. But right now, let's get this hood propped up and get to work. I did take it out for a quick spin the other day. Once I got it running, I didn't take it far because, like I said, without the alternator, the fan is not running. Didn't want to overheat the thing, but she runs good. Everything works. Brakes are tight. Doesn't smoke. It's a little tight in here, so I'm gonna take this alternator back off so I can get to the bolts holding that idler pulley on. that right there out the way. This one up, and there's a third one back there. Boy. Well, that solved that problem. We'll need a whole water pump. Now it wants to spin. So that's what it looks like on the inside. Let's see if we can get it up in there. Clean that surface off and put a new pump on there, impeller on there. Then we'll be good to go. All right, folks, we're back at the 936 today. Got the new water pump in. It actually came in rather quick, like a day or two, and I went ahead and got a new fan belt, and I ordered both from Eastern Surplus up there. I think they're somewhere around Philly, Pennsylvania. But let's get this hood propped up and get this thing put on. First thing we do is take this old belt off, get it from around the flywheel, and this was actually in pretty good shape, so I'm gonna hold on to it, keep it on the truck as a spare. No cracks, rubber seems fairly malleable enough, soft enough, and just put the new one on exact opposite. The engine mounts down the bottom got a tight clearance, and there's a little lip on the back of it that you got to work around. And once you get it through there, it'll be all right. There we go. All right, now put that pump back on there. All right. Then she goes like so. This out when I got this alternator, this bolt here was larger than the hole, so I had to go back to the machine shop and just get a larger, that one drilled out a little larger so it would fit this bolt here that came with the alternator. Well, everything's put back together, and I believe that belt is routed correctly, but it seemed a little loose. But we're going to start her and see what happens. Well, folks, there she is, White Hawk, my new M936 A2 record. I just put the alternator on there and got the fuel situation figured out. I'm taking for a quick test ride around the farm here. Can't get in too much trouble. And as I continue the restoration, I'll keep you posted.